Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Fraser, and in this video I'll be showing how to use a graphical debugger to cross-debug an embedded Linux target. So specifically here under Linux I'm running Eclipse, and I have a BeagleBone green configured that runs Linux that's going to be executing my program in an embedded setting. This approach would work equally well with other Linux systems as well as like Raspberry Pi and so forth. So here's the program that we're going to be debugging in. I've got it loaded up inside of Eclipse. Basically, I'll show it to you first. I'm going to run it by going to console, and it's an embedded target, so I need to SSH in. So this is on my BeagleBone. I've got a network map, file system. So mnt remote my apps. These are all programs that have been cross-compiled from my host and that are available to be run on my target. So here I'm going to, this is on my target, run the program array entry bad data. And it's going to ask me for 4 values. I'll enter 1, 2, 3, 4, and it then prints out some what turn out to be bogus values here at the end. So it stores these 4 values that I enter into an array, and then it processes that array. It prints it out to the screen, as shown here, and then it calculates the average incorrectly, and it calculates the minimum also incorrectly. Now these are the kind of things that you might be able to solve by just looking at the code, particularly the minimum. That's an easy kind of low-hanging fruit to figure out. So we'll start with that, but we're going to do it through the graphical debugger. So let's get that all set up and configured. I've got my program here inside of Eclipse. I have a make file and a make target that I can just run, and it builds and deploys it. But if I tried to just run the program, it's going to run it like it's an executable for my host. Now in this case, my program could just run on my host. I could do native debugging, but in some cases I might be twiddling lights or reading buttons or that kind of thing that I absolutely need to be running on the embedded system. So let's go through and set up the process. The first thing I want to do is set up a debug configuration. So I go to Run and then select Debug Configuration. And I need to create a new debug configuration. I want to use the C++ remote application. So I'm going to double click that and it gives me a new one. And up here in the top I can give it a name. So I'm going to call this one Cross Debugging Demo with Eclipse. The project is correct. That's the current project I've got. Now I've got to set up a number of things. The first thing I'm doing here is I'm manually going to be running gdbserver on my remote system. So down here, let me just expand this a little. So I don't want to be automatically using this. I'm going to use I'm going to use a configuration specific to this project. I'm going to do the manual remote debugging. There we go. So I've got the manually set, and I'm going to disable auto build. And the last thing I need to do is up here, and I need to select the actual application. So my application I want is going to be under Compute 433, Public, My Apps, and this is going to be the bad data version. Okay. Looking good so far. Now, I'm not done yet here. I've got a few other things I need to change. So I'm going to go to the Debugger tab, and it currently wants to run GDB. Well, I don't want it to run GDB. I want it to run GDB multi-arc because it has to cross-debug. So to do that, I want to run, it's under User, bin, GDB multi-arc. If you don't have this, you can sudo apt-get GDB multi-arc. Configuration file sounds okay. Stop at main looks pretty good. And that looks good for that part of it. Now, up here I need to go to this connection sub-tab. It's actually a tab here. TCP looks good. I don't want to do localhost because I'm cross-debugging. This is going to be on 192.168.7.2, and I'm going to put this on any port I like. I'm going to put it on 2001. It's because of what I've been using for the other videos as well. Okay, so now I'm going to hit apply. And now that's up and running. If I tried to debug now, let's try it. It's going to try to connect and fail. Here it is. It's trying to launching. And this is not going to work because I don't yet have gdbserver running on my target. So here, it probably just timed out. Yeah, launch failed. So I need to go here and I need to actually run gdbserver. So let's do that. So it's going to be gdbserver on localhost. 2001 was the port I said, and then the program I want to run, which is my array entry bad data. So now my gdbserver is waiting for a connection. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to re-debug that. So let's go up here, run, and I'm going to debug as, let's go back into debug configurations, cross debugging, debugger. So it's now connected. It asks me here, do I want to switch to the debug perspective? I'm going to say yes, because that's going to give me sort of views of things in the way that I want to do it for debugging. To get back, incidentally, up here is the C++ perspective, and here's the debug perspective inside of Eclipse. So where am I? Well, I'm inside of main. It automatically set a breakpoint here for when I entered main. It hit the breakpoint. And what's it going to do? Well, I've got this first call that's going to call read data to array. So in fact, why don't I'll just say step forward. So up here at the top, I've got some commands. I'm going to say step over, which is F6. It stepped over that. Now I want to step into this. So I'm going to say step into just to show what that's going to do. So it's going to jump me into read data. Here's my read data to array. Maybe I don't want to single step over everything. Let's just set a breakpoint on this. I think that's set a breakpoint. Not quite sure what the icon looks like. It looks like it's maybe crossed it. Let's just single step. Why not? So that's going to be step over. I'm going to F6 this. So as I F6 along here, we can see that things are coming up on the target. So I just ran the printf, and what's next? Next I'm going to run here into a loop. I can mouse over things and see what is going on. It says count here is 0. That looks pretty good. I can see them displayed up here automatically for me. Data was an array. And they're going to show me? No. Okay. And then I've got the size was also passed in as a separate one. As I single step through this, F6 again, we can see what's going on. It prints out the value count, and then it's going to hit scanf. And now the thread is running. I'm not locked in the debugger here. Over here I can actually put in a value. So I'm going to put in a 1. And now we're back over here. So we can hit F6 to step through this. It put the value into data sub count, and I want to look at that. Now, if I go to my watch here, can I add a new one? I want to add in a new variable to watch. I may have to bring up the watch window. Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to go here to view and show view, and I want the watch. Others, watch. Okay. So I've set the value in count and data sub count, but I can't actually see it here because all it's showing here is a pointer. But I can tell Eclipse that this isn't actually just a pointer, this is actually an array. So I'm going to right click on it and say display as array. And now I can tell it, well, start index of 0 sounds good, and the length is actually 4. So now it's going to change around and be a little bit smarter. So let me just stretch that down, and it can show me here all the array. Let's hide that. So now that looks good. So now I can see all the values, and we can see here it's put in the 1 as expected. That looks good. And I can carry on stepping through that. Let's do 6. And I can watch it kind of as it goes. So that's one of the great values of being in a graphical debugger is I can see the values change as I step my program. Now again, we're at a scanf, so I'm going to add in a 2, for example. We can watch it all happen. Now we can see one funny thing is that my array didn't actually initialize to 0, which is a very common feature of C, as variables don't get initialized automatically. So a very common bug as well. So as we go through this, we can kind of see the event proceed. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to say I want to set a breakpoint because my program's reading data okay. It's the generation of the other values that sort of has a problem. So let's set the breakpoint here, and I'm going to say run. Resume. And I have to type in some values here, so I'm going to put in a 3, a 4, and child exited. It didn't hit the breakpoint. It was not able to set the breakpoint for me. Okay, well, we'll just reconnect. So GDB, and I'm going to come up here, and I need to reconnect. So if I just click this button to debug, it doesn't actually work. I have to click the cross debug. Cross debugger's up, and it's still not wanting to set the breakpoint here. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to set a breakpoint there. But anyway, we'll just step over. So this time I'm just going to say step over. So that's going to be step over F6. Stepping over this, and it's going to enter the values 1, 2, 3, 4. I still have the same data configuration up that I did before, which is great. And I'm going to do F6. It's going to walk through and it's going to print out my array. And we can see it's just iterating through. We got the values 1 to 4 we can see inside of memory, so that's all fine. And now here we are. We're going to do the calculation of the average and the minimum, I guess. Yep. If I check out my variables, I'm going to collapse my data array because it's just got the values I was expecting. If I collapse that, we can see that sum starts off as a weird value. It's not yet initialized. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to iterate through all of my data, and now I'm going to say sum plus equals data sub I. So I fairly quickly can gain visibility that, hey, sum at this point, if I mouse over it, is 0.5. At no point should have hit that value. That tells me that I had this initial error. So that tells me I probably needed to set this to 0. But while we're at it, let's also debug our minimum problem. The minimum value wasn't ever getting displayed correctly. So here's my minimum value is being printed out. It starts off as data sub 0. Let's check out what that is. Min as 1. That looks good. I'm now going to check, is data sub I? Well, data sub I is going to give me I being, well, 0 at the moment. Yep. So it's going to give me the first element. Is that greater than min? No, it is exactly that value, so it carries on. We'll come back through. We'll do the sum again. We're going to fix the sum in a minute. And now I'm going to ask, what about data sub I here? Well, it shows me data sub I is currently 1. So data sub I, data sub 1 is going to give me the value 2. Is 2 greater than the minimum? Minimum is 1. Yes, it is. So it's going to step in. And I'm going to set the minimum to this. Now, at this point, I say, wait, that's not maybe what I want. The minimum is 1. Data sub I, let's see if I can select this. See if it's smart enough. Data sub I is 2. That's not what we want. We want to hold with a minimum. So I got a bug on this. And in fact, my bug is right here. I want the other sign. I want to say less than. So let me fix those two bugs. I'm going to let this continue. It'll finish. And it terminates the debugger. I'm going to go back here to my C perspective. I'm going to run my build command, which automatically deploys to NFS. I'll rerun gdbserver. gdbserver awaits. Go here, and I'm going to say cross debug. Yes, I'll switch to debug perspective. And I can step through this again. Now, in fact, I'm just going to let it run because I don't actually need to cross debug it here. I can just show that maybe it's going to work. So I ran 1, 2, 3, 4, and the values look a lot better. The minimum is 1, which sounds good. The average is 2.5, which is indeed halfway between these two. So that's looking good. So that's how we're going to do the cross debugging. This is great because now I can gain great visibility inside my program. It's inside of an embedded system, so gaining that visibility can be quite tricky. Also, since doing printfs can often change your timing and really lead to kind of a really challenging debugging session. So by using the cross debugger, I'm able to do it graphically and kind of gain that great insight. Alright, thank you very much for watching.